Good morning, class 7A. Good morning and a very warm welcome. Hopefully, everyone is doing fine health-wise, and even if you are staying at home, all good.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Before I proceed, I would like to say there are very few who is
Yes, ma'am.
do the presentation for Shesha Suri Project 1. Now, today I have class with you till 9:50. And then what happens from 10 itself, I have class with class 7B. Hence, I don't know within 10 minutes how many I would be able to take, maybe maximum one. But what I will do is just give me a little bit of time. I will send you a mail after your mail, with a time when I can allow you all to present. Few of you who are left, very few, around 5 or 4 of you are left. So I will give you a time, since today just after this class I have 7B from 10 o'clock. Hence I don't think I can take for everyone, but I will take your presentation and mark it to those who had mailed me last day that we missed because of a confusion. Okay. Now, for Akbar, we started with the story of Akbar's regent, Behram Khan. So, and we saw how
Yes,
Akbar
ma'am.
becomes,
When he died,
and he
Behram Khan
died.
died, and
Absolutely.
and Akbar married Behram Khan's wife.
Akbar had, you remember that? Okay, good. So he married, and he actually, he married more to give them protection, especially Behram Khan's child. See, this was something about him, that he did not abandon the little kid and give any kind of punishment, and he rather gave protection to them. So, as I was telling you, that Akbar's main three wives were there. So one of the three wives was Salima Begum. So it is believed that Akbar's three main wives. Other than that, there were many women in the Mughal kingdom. They had the Mughal palaces and all. They had many working. So in
Akbar had more than 3 wives.
see, wives mainly it was three. Earlier what happened was, very, you all are a little small to discuss a few things, but then in general, earlier what happened during any war and all, when any kingdom, any king was defeated, many a times women from those areas, they were brought to work and stay in the palaces and all those things. So, and some they married, some they did not marry. So it was a huge thing. But the main status of the queen, these three women, they got these three people were called Akbar's main queens. Okay, so it's a big thing earlier, because during any battle and all, many women were captured, brought about to the palaces, kept in the palace. They were their status. That is why you will see the custom. You all
They
know.
were treated like an object.
Yeah, you all know about Padmavat and all. You all have seen what is
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We
Is
have
it
seen
Padmavat movie?
about Alauddin Khilji and
about
all.
Alauddin, but
Yeah.
customs were there because of the fact that the women at that point of time, they knew that if once the war was lost, there was no other way to save themselves from humiliation, from being captured, and also they used to kill themselves
They kill
willingly
them.
instead of being captured, because once captured, they have to work in the from they have to go to the Victor King's palace and stay there and work there, and many times they were mistreated as well.
Ma'am,
Yes, Shaunak, what do you want to say?
ma'am,
Sure. Tell.
ma'am, I know that the woman made a
means huge. They made a huge what they call chita, and then they suicided there.
Yes, yes, yes. That was the custom with the Rajput women who used to perform this custom of Johar. When there, if that kingdom lost, many a times it was, of course, willingfully. The women they
They kill themselves by going to fire.
used to.
Wasn't it called Sati?
Um, Sati was a different thing. Sati was a custom when
Yes, ma'am.
women was
When their husbands were.
Oh, what died?
take permission and then speak. Yeah. So tell Soham, tell.
Ma'am, sati was a practice where when the women's husband died, the women didn't have the right to live or remarry. They will be sent to the burning fire with their husband so they
Yes.
can be their
Alive.
beautiful wife during going to heaven.
Absolutely. So when
Yes,
that
ma'am,
There's
burned
not much
alive.
difference.
in general,
I mean, there's not a lot of difference.
no, both the women were expected to die. Here, the difference between Johar and Sati is mainly that Johar in a war, if it is to prevent yourself from getting captured and getting being taken away to the palace of the victor king and all those people, the women used to willingly, they were told that willingly, if they want to, they all together, all the women, they used to light the fire and they used to kill themselves in a group. That has been done and once or twice. And Sati was, if it's like your husband, one women's husband is dead, so there was on the same death, no, the people they used to burn, so on the same thing they were used to sit there and the together, one dead body and one alive women alive was burned. Thank God it is gone, and it's such a wrong practice. Yes, Nilesh, we are doing tell Nilesh, tell.
Okay.
I'm gonna check the chat one.
I am already checking. I have already checked. Are we doing Akbar's conquests? Yes, we have done Akbar's conquests and we are going ahead from there. We have already discussed how
Ma'am,
Akbar
those two
won
are
over the Rajputs.
sorry.
Children, these 3 points are important. And we also discussed about, Maharana Pratap. So I told you that Maharana Pratap was one of the biggest, as you know, his enemies, and Akbar had himself acknowledged this fact that Rana Pratap was one person who was truly his match, who was really truly his match in every sense. As a ruler, as a warrior, in every way, he did acknowledge, though they were enemies, but he did acknowledge that he was his match. It is believed so. So, yes, Shrishta, please tell.
Ma'am, my question is like regarding the old tradition of when the husband dies, the wife should die as well. What if the wife dies first? What would happen to the husband?
Nothing.
No problem. Husband will.
Nothing. The men were allowed to remarry, marry again, so earlier,
Yes.
all the customs and everything. Of course, everybody did not do sati. Sati was not always forced. Many times, if the women lived, and what was very sad was earlier, in the society, what happened was young girls were married to people who
Yes,
were
ma'am.
almost double their age. Suppose the girl is 13
8-year-old.
years old, the man is maybe 50 years old. So such a huge age,
7 or 20.
automatically by the time the girl is in her 20s and all, many times young girls, and when men they died, they had to
7-year-olds on.
fire, while men they had permission to remarry. You can remarry, marry twice, thrice, and very commonly seen that women earlier, what was not given a lot of importance. Now things have become, all the government has banned all such things. Earlier women, a girl gives birth to the child, so we are the mothers, and mothers' health were neglected because women's health was never given importance. They used to work indoors, no proper doctors while giving birth, nothing, no proper care was given. Many women died giving birth to children, and one person used to have 8 children, 10 children. So by the time, many women died giving birth to children due to poor medical condition. Then the men again remarried to another person, and then, so there has been, so that is why we say, the society and its patriarchy, many things are changing now. We are going for women empowerment and lots of things. Even men, even boys are, I would say that lots of support have been. Many good men, like women are now standing in a place that they are because of many good men who have come forward, like Ishwar Chandra Vidyashagar,
Yes.
Raja Ram Mohan,
And
and fought
yes,
against these evils of the society. So it's all in our thought. Okay,
ma'am,
we will go ahead
I wanted to say something.
quickly.
Yes, ma'am. So this practice was also abolished by many kings before the British. Like you were speaking about the Mughals, Mughals also abolished the practice of sati
You will
completely.
see
But
Akbar himself did that.
yes,
Akbar
yes,
was
yes.
also not in favor of that.
Didn't the Gupta Empire do that before the invasion of the Arabs? Yeah.
Before
I mean, before the Delhi Sultanate, didn't the rulers like the Guptas,
Guptas and all, they were
like 700 CE?
based, those society during that time was based on the Vedic culture, and in the Vedic culture, many times the Brahmins who came to dominate, there were rules that man had manipulated and made it in their favor so that they can remain in power and position. Hence, you cannot really say that the Gupta period also, though it was advanced in many ways, but the society was based on Hindu customs only, and these customs were not, and automatically the position of women in society was lower than that of men. Yes, Kavya, tell me.
Ma'am, I just wanted to say in older times, if a man's wife died, he was applauded for being strong after the sad event, and he was allowed to start a new life. But if a woman's husband died, she was ridiculed as a widow who lived a
Absolutely.
shameful life.
You either sati or widow, and the widow custom was also
And widow's life was a really painful.
really bad.
They
Okay.
were
We will come to
really
the details, not now, because otherwise this can go on. This is a very huge topic for discussion. Anyway, so Akbar's
can have a
conquest,
discussion
in
later.
Akbar's conquest, we already discussed about, the Rajput part. So Rajputana, or the places in the west, how he conquered those, how he won over that side onto, his, as a part of his kingdom, and made the Rajput rulers either his friends or his relatives, or won them over by power. So anyway, and apart from that, he conquered few other very important places. Two such places being Bengal port and Gujarat port. The port of Bengal and Gujarat, when these two places came in Akbar's territories, Akbar, the Mughal Empire's trade started flourishing, and trade with Europe started to flourish. Now you will see towards the end of Akbar's rule, rule, slowly, till now, Arab invasion by the Persians, the Arabs, the Turks, they were coming to India. Now sea route with the Europes are opening. And this is a time period when in Europe, slowly, from the dark times, you have read in Christianity how by the end of Christianity, it was the dark ages in Europe. In Europe, everything was in the name of religion, and religion was taking the center stage. The church,
No question. Yes, ma'am. Christian were taking
the church,
they were the head of the
the
thing.
clergy and the
Yes.
church.
No questions can be asked.
No questions.
Yes.
Absolutely. If they say thundering is because God has punished you, that is the reason. The God thundering is because God has punished us. They would not try to find out why is it thundering outside? Why is there so much lightning? Can there be a cyclone formed because of natural reasons? No, people would say there is cyclones and storms because you have done something.
Ma'am,
Please God. If that
ma'am,
is, they would believe so. Yes.
ma'am, in Europe,
That way
some
everyone would be
scientists,
famous.
ma'am, in Europe, some scientists were jailed because
Many people, there
because
have
they
been.
found out that the real reasons,
Some were also killed because
and
of,
and that scientist only in the jail
Actually, I
only
will not only say
discovered things.
scientists, means people who even
Like they
tried
didn't
to
get
question, they were in. But now, if you now, this is the time when in India the Mughal Empire is going on. It is gaining power. It is rising. Europe also is slowly coming out of the dark times. Now in Europe, as the dark ages are being removed and people have started questioning. People have started questioning why. Why do you think God is displeased with us? Why will God do? We all are God's children. And why will God punish us like this? What is happening? Questions are being asked and Europe is coming out. So when we do Renaissance, we will discuss this also. You will see when questions are being asked, discoveries are being made. The first step to new discovery is asking questions, curiosity. You need to be able to ask questions as to why. Why is something happening? When if you just don't say that, oh, this is some kind of miracle and sit down, then nothing will be discovered. But if you ask why, new discoveries will always be made. And hence, with those discoveries, people are now going on long voyages. Now sea routes are opening, and many European countries, you will see, have during this time they started sending sailors to find out different things. Sailing is voyaging is increasing a lot. Coming back to India, hence,
I don't think there's anything left to discover at all, right?
who said? We haven't still found out any one particular cure for this virus, corona.
Injection.
Every other day it is mutating. We don't have a proper medicine. So many things things are there. We haven't
raining
found
COVID.
Ma'am,
out
the
any
government
research for
over
cancer
exaggerates a lot.
medicines.
Ma'am, ma'am, the government over exaggerates a lot. They're like, today only the vaccine will come, today only the vaccine will come, but after 1 month also they keep telling
The
it
vaccine,
will
how
come
the
today, will come
government's
today.
the government's duty is to show a picture to the people that everything we
That's
are,
the
Or
good.
they will have a
And
bad
the
image.
news
also they
too,
get a
and the
vote.
news is news also, like they will like shout and scream and tell to just wait for 1 month, we will give you the vaccine, blah
I
blah
can
blah.
tell you
Nothing
this.
happens.
Don't believe anything without your, yes, the vaccines are there, but the virus is mutating so much. We have to also be careful in many ways.
Yes,
Vaccine
the
will
people
not
are also not being
help
careful.
us
Not
to
the
And the
feel
follow.
the
people
cure
notice
from the
that they
COVID.
don't listen.
True. Okay. Now, as I was saying, so trading, now India's trading with the West, in the sense Europe starts. And along with that, you will see Akbar annexed places in the north and northwest, like Kashmir, Kabul, Kandahar, Sindh, and through these places also, new land routes through the land, they started trading with the western side. Now India is on the eastern side of Asia, if we say, rather south. So but they start trading with the west in a much more bigger way. Now not only Arab and Persia, but now with Europe also, trading starts. By Europe, I am not saying only British. Please understand this. Europe has Portuguese, Italian, all of them. They have all traded with India at one point of time. So French, British came later on. I'm not talking about only the British
Pondicherry,
people.
these places were under France, and then Goa was under Portugal, Kolkata was under
Portugal. Yes,
British rule.
absolutely. You
That's
will
why in those
find
Goa
influence of
places,
Portugal a lot in
people
Goa,
were playing
Portuguese
football
culture.
a lot.
Yes,
That's why in
Portuguese
Goa
culture is
places
a lot
they
coming.
And the Dutch.
yes.
The Dutch also did. French was there later on when the English and the French had, there were wars between them, known as the Carnatic Wars, and then the British became the more powerful, dominant power. So by Europeans, I'm not only talking about Britain. So remember that. Hence, I'm saying Europe. Okay. Now, during Akbar's time, since he caught hold of very two important places, Bengal and Gujarat port, so you see trading flourished with Asia, with China, with Arab, with Europe, and India starts becoming very prosperous during that time. Now, coming to Akbar's administration, only, fighting wars will not do. You need to set up a strong base, a strong empire to be able to be called as a good king, rather a great king. Hence, again,
This is something Babur didn't do.
very similar to Sher Shah only. He divided many of you shared Sher Shah's projects, right? Sher Shah's work. So you remember that Sher Shah used to divide the administration into parganas into villages, districts and villages. In the same way, he divided it into two parts, central administration and provincial. So the full empire divided into smaller parts or provinces, exactly much similar to what we have now. We have one central government run by the prime minister, and then the country is divided into states, and each state has a chief minister, and we have the chief ministers running each state. So in the same way, the kingdom was divided into central and provincial administration. So central administration, who is going to be the ruler?
The king.
The king. The main decision was taken by the king, and king was the highest person who would give justice in any case. He was the main judge. Any problem, it was the king. So Akbar, I don't know, have any one of you been to Red Fort or Fatehpur Sikri? I mean, the Agra Fort in Agra, anywhere?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I've been to Agra.
Have you been
Yes,
to
ma'am.
The best part I liked is there
I've been to
was
Red
fort
Fort.
for
I have also
people
been to
who
Red
were,
Fort. I have also been to Agra Fort.
and the
Ma'am, me
most I
too.
like about
Ma'am,
that
ma'am,
those
I
And
places
also
is that
Shahjahan.
been
they
to
have a board for people who are blind, so
Agra
that
Fort and
they can put their hand and read, and so that everything.
They had lots of things to give justice, to find out if they were true or not. But if you ever visit Red Fort, if you ever visit Agra Fort, if you visit in both these places, in Agra Fort mainly by Akbar, in Agra Fort, you will find the Jodhabai Palace is there. Then Akbar's, all those things. I have pictures of them, but in my hard disk, it is kept there. Someday I can show you. I went there for a family trip during my college days and all. I remember, and once with my friends also. But in Agra, if you go to Agra Fort, even in Red Fort, which was followed by Shah Jahan later on, you will find there is a structure which they call, so there were these two halls. One is called the Diwan-e-Aam and one is called the Diwan-e-Khas. So Diwan-e-Aam was the hall of public
Public audience.
still there.
Diwani Kam or
Public
Diwani.
audience.
It is still there.
Been there
In
for a project.
Diwan-e-Aam, if you they will show you that it's the floor like this. On top, quite at a height, there is the throne, there is the place where the king used to sit. And all the people used to come to the hall one by one, and they used to tell the king their problems. Okay, so Diwan-e-Aam was there, and Diwan-e-Khas was the place where they used to organize the meetings with special ministers. Okay, the king used to have, if you go to Red Fort, Agra Fort, have you seen Diwan-e-Aam? They show it, all the tour guides show it.
Yeah.
This
I think I've seen this.
have you seen this? Because all the tour guides, they will definitely show you this. I have seen this. So this is this in the Red Fort, in the Diwan-e-Aam only, the very, very famous peacock throne of the Mughals, later on Shah Jahan and all. It is said that that throne itself had so much of gold and precious jewelry and all that, you know, it was one of the costliest thrones.
Ma'am, the Kohinoor diamond.
Not only the Kohinoor was there, and there was it was the peacock throne, and the eye of the peacock had a very
Isn't the Kohinoor diamond now in England?
ruby. Yes, now it's in the queen's crown.
Alice.
The
Ma'am,
Diwan-e
then the Afghans stole it from the Mughal.
Agra. Diwan-e-Aam of Agra Fort, if you see, yes, in Agra Fort also it is there. Exactly. This is this kind of a hall, you know, and people used to come and people used to tell their problems to the king in these halls. So the king used to meet the common people and used to listen to them in this place, that is the Diwan-e-Aam. And he was assisted by, of course, a group of ministers, wazir and prime minister being the main. And he used to meet his special ministers. Only with special ministers, the king used to have meetings in Diwan-e-Khas. So if you visit Red Fort, if you ever visit Delhi, if you ever visit Agra, you go to Red Fort or Agra Fort. In both of them, Red Fort was built later on by Shah Jahan. So you will definitely see these structures. These are still there and they are very well maintained, and you would love to take a walk down it. The tour guide will tell you lots of interesting stories. That is for central administration. And just like the country is divided into states, earlier the kingdom was divided into provinces, and in the provincial administration, you know, the provinces was headed by, they were also called subas. It was headed by a subedar. Subedar is still one post we have in the army and all, and that was divided into villages, and we had kotwalis, you know, for towns it was called Kotwal. So Kotwalis were the towns. Some of the terms are still in use. And as you all know, something very, very important was the selection of who will hold which post in the government, in the administration. So very, very carefully, officers were selected who were given important posts in the administration. Now, to run the administration efficiently, to run an army efficiently, what do you need? A strong revenue system. And, you know, Akbar's revenue system was made by a Hindu person who was known to be very, very good in revenue and mathematics. And he was one of Akbar's 9. Yes, it was Raja Todarmal.
And was he a Rajput?
He was.
Because many Rajputs were given high posts.
Rajput, and his system, the system that he made, it was called the Todarmal Bandobast. But Todarmal Bandobast, very, very interestingly, Todarmal Bandobast is something that was then again influenced by Sher Shah's revenue system. Sher Shah's revenue system was so good that even Raja Todarmal, who was one very intelligent person, and his revenue system was excellent, he made this revenue system inspired by Sher Shah Suri. So once again, a big similarity between Sher Shah and Akbar's system, because money, the uninterrupted flow of money is very, very important. So Todarmal Bandobast is nothing but, if I ask you, what is Todarmal Bandobast? Please write, Todarmal Bandobast was the system of collecting revenue that was prevalent during Akbar's reign, or during the Mughal Empire era, during Akbar's reign, and it was made by Raja Todarmal, or Todarmal, who was Akbar's finance minister. He was the finance minister of Akbar. Like we have a finance minister now, he was Akbar's finance minister, and he made this. So same thing, land was assessed and the revenue was fixed accordingly. The average, how much average crop has been produced by each land in the last 10 years, that was seen. Okay, and then only the quality of the land was fixed. Accordingly, 1/3 of it had to be paid to the king as revenue. And he also made just like Sher Shah, agricultural loans were given to the farmers during times of flood and famine. The farmers were given benefits, quite similar to Sher Shah, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Quite similar. So the inspiration came from there. Here you can write, just like Patta and all that was given after Kabul made after assessing the land. Here also, for last 10 years, at least for 10 years, how much crop has been produced from a piece of land, that was seen. And accordingly, when you see that, you get to understand, is the land of good quality? Is the land of average quality? Is the land of bad quality? And accordingly, the revenue was fixed. Along with that, a very important source of revenue was definitely trading. And once again, very inspired by Sher Shah, very simple, simply stating, good network of roads, taxes, no extra taxes, these were maintained. And Bengal and Gujarat port became very, very important centers for trading. Very important centers, because through sea route, the trading was there. And see, as I just told you, Akbar encouraged contact with Europe, and a number of Europeans visited his court. So in the 1600s, we see Queen Elizabeth for the first time granted a company to come to India to trade spices and all good things. That company was named the East India Company. So now the Europeans are coming to India as traders. The Europeans.
But ma'am, the British became cruel in the late 1700s, ma'am.
Elizabeth
Ma'am, I have a question.
Late 1700s.
1700s, in 1700s, so you have.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Please tell. You said I have a question and stopped.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a question, that how did the Mughals get the Kohinoor? Means in the book it was written that the royal family of Gwalior presented Humayun. Means the royal family of Gwalior gave Humayun the Kohinoor diamond.
It was gifted, and it is believed that the Kohinoor has been excavated from one of India's oldest diamond mines. India was one country in
Ma'am, it
Malwa.
was
I
in
guess
South
it is
India.
in Malwa.
Mine.
And
If you read the chapters of if you read the chapter Bahamani
Hello.
Nagara Kingdom,